Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and I need you to stop everything you are doing right now because what I am about to show you and tell you in this video has been breaking the internet in American car communities for the past several weeks, and almost nobody outside of those communities is talking about it yet. The 2026 Dodge Charger Daytona Scat Pack is here in blue and black Daytona graphics. And I am telling you right now, I am telling you with complete and total confidence that nothing you have read about this car online, nothing you have seen in a quick scroll through Instagram or a 30-second clip on TikTok has come anywhere close to preparing you for what we are getting into today. So do not move, do not click away, because I am saving the most important thing about this car for the very end of this video. And once you hear it, you are going to understand immediately why the people who have already seen this car in person are acting absolutely unhinged about it on every car forum and every social media platform in America right now. Now I want you to close your eyes for just a second. Actually, do not close your eyes because you need to keep watching. But I want you to think back to the first time you ever heard the name Daytona attached to a Dodge Charger. For a lot of you, that name carries something. It carries a feeling. A specific, visceral, American feeling that is connected to high banks and loud engines and the kind of automotive drama that only comes from a car that was built to be absolutely ruthless about going fast and looking incredible while doing it. The original Charger Daytona of 1969 was not just a car, it was a weapon, a statement, a machine so extreme and so committed to its purpose that NASCAR actually had to create new rules specifically because of it. That is the heritage that this name carries. That is the weight behind the badge. And the fact that Dodge has chosen to bring it back in 2026 dressed in blue and black Daytona graphics tells you everything you need to know about the level of seriousness and the level of ambition behind every single decision that went into building this car. And here is what the enthusiast community has been saying. The people who have been following this car since the first leaked images appeared, the hardcore Mopar faithful who have been living and breathing Dodge performance their entire adult lives, they are saying this is the most exciting thing Dodge has done since the original Hellcat landed and changed the entire muscle car conversation overnight. That is not a small statement. These are people who are impossible to impress. These are people who have seen everything. And they are reacting to the 2026 Charger Daytona Scat Pack in blue and black graphics like they have never reacted to anything before. That social proof alone should tell you something very important about what Dodge has built here. So let us talk about the exterior first, because with a car wearing Daytona graphics in blue and black, the outside is where this entire story announces itself to the world in the loudest and most dramatic way possible. The body of the 2026 Charger is wide and low and muscular in a way that makes every other car in its vicinity look immediately ordinary. The proportions are long and aggressive, a wide front fascia that dominates everything in front of it, a roofline that flows back in this tight, purposeful arc, and rear haunches that are so wide and so muscular that they make the car look like it is ready to launch itself off the line, whether it is moving or standing completely still. And then on top of all that, on top of those already incredible proportions, Dodge has laid the blue and black Daytona graphics, and the result is something that I genuinely do not have adequate words for. The blue runs bold and electric across the body in those unmistakable Daytona stripe patterns. Wide, confident, unapologetic, the kind of graphics that do not ask for your attention but simply take it without asking. The black contrasts against the blue in these sharp, precise, purposeful ways that give the graphics depth and drama and a sense of speed even at a complete standstill. Together, these two elements, the blue and the black working together across that aggressive Charger body, create a visual statement that is so completely and so powerfully American that it makes your chest do something involuntary the first time you see it in person. People do not casually glance at this car. They stop. They genuinely physically stop whatever they're doing, and then they take photos, every single time without exception. That is the real-world reaction that these graphics on this body generate, and Dodge knew exactly what they were creating when they signed off on this combination. The front end of the 2026 Charger Daytona Scat Pack is commanding and aggressive in a way that makes an immediate and powerful impression from the moment it appears on the horizon. The grille is wide and bold and flanked by sharp split lighting elements that give the front of this car an expression that can only be described as genuinely menacing, not playfully aggressive, not performatively tough, genuinely, seriously, unmistakably menacing. The blue and black graphics hit the hood, and the front fascia in exactly the right places to add another layer of visual drama to an already incredibly dramatic front end. In blue and black, this nose comes at you like something that has made a very serious decision about where it is going and has absolutely no interest in discussing it with anything in its path. Down the sides, the Daytona graphics flow with a precision and a confidence that reflects enormous attention to detail in how these patterns were laid out across this specific body. The blue stripes carry the eye from front to rear in this wonderful, uninterrupted visual sweep that makes the car look longer and lower and faster than it already does. The black elements anchor and frame the blue in ways that add sophistication to what could easily have been an overwhelming graphic package. But Dodge has calibrated the balance between blue and black with real artistry. The result is graphics that feel bold enough to turn every single head on every single road while still being refined enough to look at home at a black tie event. That is an extremely difficult balance to strike, and Dodge has struck it perfectly. The rear of the 2026 Charger Daytona Scat Pack in blue and black is where this car makes its final and most lasting impression. And it is an impression that nobody who sees it ever forgets. The wide taillights span the full width of the car in that classic Charger tradition. But in the 2026, they have been redesigned with sharper detail and more dramatic depth than any previous generation. The Daytona graphics continue across the rear deck lid and trunk area in these precise, purposeful patterns that frame those taillights in the most spectacular way. And the quad exhaust outlets at the bottom, wide, symmetrical, completely serious, complete the picture in a way that tells anyone watching this car drive away from them exactly what kind of machine they just witnessed. The rear of this car in blue and black Daytona graphics under any lighting condition is one of the single most visually exciting sights in the American automotive world in 2026. Now let us get inside. And this is where I need to tell you something that the mainstream automotive press has been criminally underreporting about the 2026 Charger Daytona Scat Pack. The interior of this car is not what you expect. It is not what anyone expected. And the people who have been inside it, the journalists who got early access, the Dodge insiders who have been living with pre-production cars, the enthusiasts and Mopar communities who have had dealer preview access, every single one of them has said the same thing. They were not prepared for how good it is in there, and neither are you. The moment you drop into the driver's seat, and you do drop into it in that wonderful low, you are now part of this machine way that only the best performance car cockpits deliver. You are surrounded by an environment that tells you immediately and completely that Dodge built this car around the person sitting exactly where you are sitting right now. The seating position is low and purposeful. The bolsters of the seat hold you with exactly the right amount of firmness, supportive enough that you feel connected and secure through corners, relaxed enough that you could drive this car all day without discomfort. The steering wheel sits perfectly in your hands, thick and grippy and shaped exactly right for a car that was built to be driven with real intention and real commitment. The dashboard wraps around the driver in this focused, cockpit-inspired layout that puts every control exactly where your instincts want it to be. Quality materials throughout, surfaces that look right and feel right in equal measure, stitching that is precise and purposeful, accent materials that add visual interest without ever making the interior feel confused or overdone. This is a performance interior that takes the driver seriously. It does not dress itself up with unnecessary complexity or try to be something it is not. It is honest and direct and completely committed to the experience of the person behind the wheel. And that honesty makes it one of the most satisfying interiors in the American muscle car segment right now. The rear seat area is genuinely usable. More space than you expect from a car with this roofline and these proportions, and the overall cabin experience is one of surprising refinement combined with constant, underlying excitement. You are never allowed to forget that you are sitting inside a Charger Daytona Scat Pack. The car reminds you of that fact in subtle but persistent ways. The way the seat holds you, the way the wheel feels, the way every surface you touch communicates performance intent without ever shouting about it. It is a masterclass in how to make a performance car interior that works as well on a daily commute as it does on a track day. And now I am going to tell you the thing I promised you at the beginning of this video. The thing that the enthusiast community has been quietly talking about in private groups and closed forums for the past month. The 2026 Dodge Charger Daytona Scat Pack in Blue and Black Daytona graphics is going to be offered in a strictly limited first edition allocation. Dodge has confirmed that the Blue and Black Daytona graphics package on the Scat Pack will not be available in unlimited numbers at launch. The first production run is expected to be significantly constrained, which means the people who move first are the people who get one, and the people who wait, who think they have more time, who tell themselves they will look into it next month, those people are going to be calling dealers and hearing the same thing over and over again. Sold out, already gone, you should have moved sooner. Let us talk about pricing, because this is where the fear of missing out becomes very real and very urgent. The 2026 Dodge Charger Daytona Scat Pack is expected to start in the range of $52,000 to $58,000 for the base Scat Pack configuration. The Blue and Black Daytona graphics package with the full Scat Pack specification is expected to land somewhere in the $62,000 to $72,000 range, depending on additional options. And the top specification fully loaded Scat Pack with every available package is expected to push toward $80,000 and beyond. At every price point, this car represents extraordinary value for what it delivers. The design, the performance character, the heritage, the exclusivity of the graphics package, and the sheer emotional impact of owning and driving a Charger Daytona Scat Pack in 2026. There is nothing else in this price range that delivers this combination of elements. Nothing. And the people who understand that are already at their dealerships. Production begins in late 2025. Deliveries roll through 2026 and into 2027. The Blue and Black Daytona graphics allocation is limited. The Scat Pack reservation lists at dealerships across America are already moving. And the window to get exactly the car you want, in exactly the specification you want, is open right now, but it will not stay open forever. The Dodge Charger Daytona Scat Pack in Blue and Black is the most exciting, the most dramatic, the most completely realized American muscle car of 2026. And the people who own one are going to be driving the most talked about, the most photographed, and the most viscerally thrilling machine on American roads for years to come. Do not be the person who watched this video, felt everything you just felt, and then waited too long. That story never has a happy ending. So what do you think? Is the 2026 Dodge Charger Daytona Scat Pack in Blue and Black everything you hoped it would be? Drop everything in the comments right now, because this comments section is already one of the most active on this channel, and I read every single one. Give this video a thumbs up if it got your blood moving. It helps the channel more than you will ever know. Subscribe and hit that notification bell, because we are following the Charger Daytona all the way through to launch day, and the content we have coming is something you absolutely cannot afford to miss. I will see you in the next one, everybody. Take care.